You're predicting the 49ers will have a losing record this upcoming season. If that's the case, what happens to the front office in general and the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, in particular?
Let's focus on the head coach.
Okay.
And let's say they have a 7-win season. And again, please, viewers, this is totally speculative. This is the BS you do before the season starts. This is going to be Kyle's 6th season.
Yeah.
When you have your 6th season as the head coach, one would assume you have all the players in place that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You've long had your system in place. By the 6th season, actually before the 6th season, but at least at the very latest by the 6th season, you should be flowering.
Mm-hmm.
This should be the greatest expression of what you can do.
Yes.
And if in your 6th season, all you come up with is 7 or 8 wins, if I were running that team, I would either fire him or I would say, you got one more year. And it's not just a winning record. We want you in the playoffs. We want you in the championship game. We want you in the Super Bowl. That's what we got you here for. That's why we gave you all this money and these extensions. If you have another, either fire him after the 6th or tell him you got one more. You're a lame duck. Let's see what you can do. How do you feel about that?
I think you're right. If he goes 7-10 this year, he'll be 46-52. After 6 seasons. And if he goes 7-10 this year, it's going to be mostly because in year 6, he's still fumbling around at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And he started a guy who's really young and wasn't prepared for it. And they had to take a step back or 2 to take steps forward. And now you're talking about maybe in year 8 or year 9, this team will really be what I envisioned of it. It's like, that's too long. You mentioned year 6. Do you remember, I don't expect you to, but do you remember what Billy Walsh did in year 6 with the 49ers?
I don't know.
That was 1984. I mean, I wasn't alive. I just checked it out. He went 15-1, won the Super Bowl. That's what he did. And what's interesting is the year before, he went 10-6, lost in the NFC Championship game. Well, the Niners went 10-7 last year, lost in the NFC Championship game. Bill took the next step. And he was able to because he had the quarterback position right. He already had a champion at quarterback. Kyle is trying to start over in year 6 with a 22-year-old who hasn't played in 2 years. It's a very different position.
And I would say one of the things that we all understand about the 49ers is those great years with Bill and with George Seifert set the standard.
Oh, yeah.
That every 49er coach and every 49er team since then has been matched against that standard. And that's why the 49ers matter. Because that standard exists. It's what Steve Young used to call it. He used to talk to me about it. And he meant the standard. And these teams following George have not really met the standard. Even with Mariucci, I don't think they met the standard. And certainly if Kyle has a bad season, comparing, I love that you brought this up, comparing number 6 for him to number 6 for Bill, that's pretty damning.
And I think it's what a lot of people learn when they come to the 49ers is it's really tough to work on this team because you're constantly compared to the past, from the ownership to the head coach to the quarterback. If you have been the quarterback of this team for 4 or 5 years and you're not as good as Steve Young or Joe Montana, the fan base is done with you. They're on to the next. They deserve and want a great quarterback. And the same with the coach. I mean, George Seifert didn't quite live up to it long enough. Jim Harbaugh didn't quite live up to it long enough. And Kyle, if you're on losing season number 4, people are going to turn on you because it's been too long. They're expecting sustained success. This guy's never had back-to-back winning seasons in his career, any stop he's been in as an assistant coach. So he's got to prove it.
And never developed a quarterback.
Ever. And you know what? Neither did his dad. So they got something to prove. And what's funny is they drafted another quarterback this year. Kyle has a type. Trey's isn't in that type, but his type is the gritty, good, not great college quarterback who played a long time in college and has no physical gifts. Why does Kyle like that quarterback? It's like, I don't get it. I mean, I think I get it, but I don't get it.
Iggy, I have a question from left field. Jim Harbaugh, who you know I have great affection for and great admiration for, when he took over as the head coach, did he take down photos of the great players and put up photos around the building of the current players?
He did. He was proud of it.
Didn't Bob Lang take us?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's right. Bob Lang showed us, and I think what the explanation that Jim gave Bob or us was, I don't want to be stuck in the past. I want to make our own legacy.
I understand the reasoning, but you know what? Those photos were the standard.
They were. But I guess what Jim was trying to say, and maybe in a non-finesseful way, is that's not your legacy. You haven't earned any of that. This team has had a lot of losing seasons. We gotta get in the present here and stop acting like that does anything for us. I think that's what he was going for.
Okay,
they've been losers for a while.
I got it. You see, you're smarter than I am, and you figured that out, Jim. God love you.
Like, in a sense, the Cowboys are living in the past. When you go down there, all you see is pictures of Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. Like, that still matters. Like, guys, you guys have been pretty mediocre for the last 20 years. Maybe you need to make a new legacy.